Okay. Hey everyone, it's Alexander the Real Mr. Robinson, and this is my review, supposedly, for The Lighthouse. And I say that because this is gonna be a difficult movie to actually give a constructive review on, but whatever, let's get into it. The movie follows two men, played by Willem Dafoe and Robert Pattinson, as they attempt to spend 4 weeks in a lighthouse, with Willem Dafoe being the owner of the lighthouse, and Robert Pattinson being one of the guys that comes in and pretty much helps out for a month. And pretty much he's a maid for Willem Dafoe. But as the movie goes on and certain circumstances keep Robert Pattinson in this lighthouse longer than 4 weeks, these two men slowly start to lose their minds. And it results in what I think is undeniably the weirdest friggin' movie I have seen all year. So when I saw the trailer for this movie, the first thing that went through my head was, okay, this is probably some very avant-garde art type movie. It's from the director of The Witch, which I never saw, but apparently that's a very polarizing horror movie. And some people say that that's also a pretty bizarre film as well. And after seeing The Lighthouse, I can't imagine The Witch being any more bizarre than this. When this movie eventually came out and people saw it at the other secret screening at Fantastic Fest, I just heard some mildly weird stuff about it. It wasn't until I was talking to my friend Sean Chandler from the YouTube channel Sean Chandler Talks About, where he just described how bizarre this movie was. And it's at that point with the stuff that he told me, I was like, all right, now I have to watch this movie just to see how these things play out. And in terms of the weird stuff that happens in this movie, I'll get back to that a little later. First, I want to try to give some actual critique of this movie. I want to start off by saying how great this movie looks. The movie is filmed like an old black and white film from the 30s or 40s, right down to the point where they even use some old lenses that were developed in the early 20th century. I don't think this movie could have worked as well if it was in color. If it was in color, I just think it would have been not good, honestly. The black and white cinematography definitely helps. And then you've also got two really great performances. Robert Pattinson is really doing a fantastic job at escaping the shadow of Twilight, because he is continuing to impress me and a lot of other people with just how great of an actor he's becoming. And then Willem Dafoe, he's playing Willem Dafoe, except maybe a more crazy Willem Dafoe, as if he was doing an impression of the sea captain from The Simpsons. And just watching these two actors play off each other and just losing their minds as the movie goes on is very entertaining. Now, in terms of the situations that would make somebody lose their mind, not just the characters, but anyone watching this, we have a lot of weird stuff that contributes to the weird nature of this movie. We have Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe drinking heavily, then at the snap of a finger getting into a fight. We have Robert Pattinson violently masturbating to a mermaid statue. We have a naked Willem Dafoe staring down Robert Pattinson as lights come out of his eyes. And we have mermaid vagina. Yeah, one of the things that Sean Chandler told me about when talking about The Lighthouse was that there is mermaid genitalia. And I won't say the context of how you see it, but it is something that I never thought I'd see in my life, and I don't think I never need to see again. It is such a bizarre movie that describing those things can't even spoil it, because honestly, there's really not much of a plot. It's just a series of events that lead these two guys into madness. And as the characters are going mad, so is the audience, because I was just so perplexed with how bizarre this movie could get. And at least it has a reason for being bizarre. It's not like Godzilla vs. Hedorah, where that movie is just weird because it was the 70s. This movie's weirdness actually contributes to these two guys losing their mind. And you know what? I just thought of a fantastic and very trippy triple feature. Not double feature, I'm putting one extra movie in there. And it's not The Witch, because again, I haven't seen the movie. But if I could do a triple feature one night of The Lighthouse, Godzilla vs. Hedorah, and the Japanese horror movie House from 1977, I think everyone watching those three movies back to back to back would lose their minds just how weird it is. There would be visible confusion from everyone if you were to watch these three movies in a row. So I'm just gonna wrap it up right now because I really don't have much else to say on this. The first thing I tweeted as soon as I walked out of the movie, and the first thing I even said to my dad was, cocaine is a hell of a drug, because the depths of weirdness that this movie descends into is so bizarre that you can't really criticize it and you just kind of go along for the ride. So for me personally, I would say the movie is good, but I don't think it's particularly great because it doesn't really have much of a narrative and it is very slow paced at points. But if you're in the mood for some very bizarre and just straight up weird movies, then The Lighthouse is going to definitely do it for you. But if you want something that's a little more down to earth, a little more coherent, and something that actually has a straightforward narrative, then I don't really recommend this a whole lot. But it's definitely a good movie. I've had time to think about this, and the more I think about it, the more I like it a lot. And there you go, that's my review for The Lighthouse. Now I want to know what you guys think about the movie. If you've seen it, what did you think? Whatever the case may be, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, leave a comment, support my Patreon page, follow me on social media, and until then, this is the real Mr. Robinson telling you there's only one.